you all to get started working on this first project here. So yeah, this first project you're going to be creating thumbnails and 3 workup sketches based on a prompt that you will eventually use to create a final full color illustration. So what you need to submit, when is it due? On July 15th, which I believe is a Friday. You'll need to submit 10 thumbnail sketches, 3 workup sketches, and 1 page of studies and reference photos. So start by choosing one of these prompts. They're all pretty simple little stories there. But think about how you can, feel free to change anything or add to the story or make it your own and make it unique. So I'm working on this first one, the rock climber prompt. You can kind of follow along with that one and do that one if you want, or you go off and do one of these other ones completely on your own. So I started here and I have my thumbnails. So these were done. Oh no, those are studies. I will get to that. So here are my 10 thumbnails. So based on that prompt of a rock climber precariously climbing a cliff face, these are 10 things that I came up with. So I thought I wanted it to be a female rock climber. I have a drawing of what I kind of wanted that character to look like. Here she is. So, you can do a quick little character sketch if you want, if that would help you. But I wanted her to kind of really be pushing her limits. She goes out one time to, climb by herself with no safety ropes or anything like that, and it gets to be really dangerous and really scary. So that's kind of what I was thinking for the story. So these are the ones I came up with. Most of them are wide shots and full shots for the most part. I don't get into too many close-ups here. So just try out those different ones, wide shot, close-up, full shot, see which one works best for your given story. So, these are similar to what you guys did on the drawing discussion last week, so hopefully you guys should be able to do this part. So the next thing you are going to do is some studies and reference photos gathering. So I got different photos here to help me with this inspiration, just to see different poses the body makes, the texture of these rocks, any sort of gear that these rock climbers have, things like that. And I did a page of studies. Where are those? Here they are. So studies should be based on those reference photos. I'll show you guys how to save these all as a PDF. So I just practiced drawing some different poses and some kind of different landscapes of what the rockery may look like. So just about 1 page in your sketchbook of different things to kind of help you practice drawing these different things. So yeah, you won't be an expert at drawing all those subject matters in the prompts. So whether it's practicing drawing the castle, the spooky forest, or those different things in the prompts, these are just allow you to practice so you can worry about just what does a body do when it's rock climbing? What sort of gear do they carry with them? What does the landscape and rockery look like? That is what the point of the studies are, and those will be included when you turn them in. Alright, so you'll have to then choose 3 thumbnails to take to workup sketches. And workup sketches are basically larger thumbnails, about twice as big. And I want you to focus on adding details and also really adding value. So making sure there's value contrast on your focal point, which is what we talked about in class this week. So what's one of these that looks good? Let's see, where did they go? Let's go with, I kind of like number 7 here with the really wide shot. I also kind of like 6, more of the full shot just on the body. So let's start with 6 there. So you can do all these thumbnails and your workup sketch. You can do it in your sketchbook, or you can do it digitally in Photoshop or Procreate or whatever program you plan to use for this class. So whatever is easier for you. So to do this workup sketch, you will look at your thumbnail there, and you're going to recreate it, but you're just going to draw it a little bit more slowly and a little bit more carefully. So I'm going to start with a very light sketch here and just kind of get the overall composition down. So I made a new layer here. So if you're working digitally, you utilize these layers here to help help you keep your drawing organized. If you're just doing it in your sketchbook, that is great as well. But you'll just kind of sketch really lightly first to get the pose, the composition all figured out. So I'm basically just copying here what I have in my thumbnail. And I want to add some other things here in the background that I don't really have in my thumbnail sketch. So I'm going to add some different trees and some other mountains behind there as well. So I do have that character sketch. I have two different versions. So this is what I want my character to look like. So I'll have that too as I start to add details for the costume and the outfit, the clothes that the character's wearing. So you can do this light sketching with your, you know, just with pencil in your sketchbook, or again, you can do this digitally as well. All right. So I'm kind of just going a little bit faster here, just so you guys aren't sitting and watching me draw for forever. But I would say each workup sketch should take probably 30 minutes or so, maybe up to 45 or an hour, depending on how fast you are and how the whole process is going. Okay, so this person is the focal point, so I want to make sure the person has a lot of dark value on them as I start to add more details. So this is all a very light sketch layer. So again, if you're doing this digitally, I'm just going to make a new layer here and make darker lines on top of here. If you're doing this with pencil, you can just draw right on top of your very light sketch here. So there will be one more step of, you know, final clean line work here. So I don't have to worry about making it perfectly clean or anything like that. And I'll still be able to make changes later on. And when you guys submit your workup sketches and you submit the project, I will make comments and suggestions of how to improve your work and any changes that you may need to make. So, you know, adding details like folds in the clothing. She has her pouches here of, you know, different climbing gear, things like that. This is when you add those things in. You don't need to add those sorts of details in the thumbnails. Thumbnails are more just practicing with composition, things like that, and trying out different shots. Okay, we're getting close here. So this is, you know, and I'll have to do this for all 3 thumbnails that I choose. So this is all just part of your creative process. This is a process that all artists use, something similar to this. And it's just kind of a way to help, hopefully guarantee that you get some good drawings, good final artwork. And if you follow each step carefully and closely, and spend your time on each step, it should result in you getting some good artwork out of it. Okay, so there is my line drawing. So now I need to add some value to this. So this is similar to what we were doing in class. I'm going to do it on a separate layer. Again, if you are doing it by hand, you can just kind of start coloring in these different values with your pencil. Okay, so I want to separate the sky from the foreground. So I want to make that a light value for the sky. That'll already get some good contrast in there and make my person and the mountain or the cliff face here stand out. So remember, value contrast, you want dark against light and light against dark. And you want the lightest value and darkest value next to each other on your focal point, in this case the person, for this composition. You may have more than one focal point at some point, but try and focus on just creating one clear focal point. Okay, this is a little, just separating this out, separating the shapes. Takes a little time to kind of do this. It takes the most time at the beginning, and then as you separate more and more, it'll be easier. Okay, there we go. So that's kind of my biggest value pattern. I got light sky and darker rock and building. All right, so things closer will be darker, so I want to make this whole cliff face pretty dark. And might as well make the person a darker value as well. Okay. Okay, now I can go into the person and start making some individual values lighter and darker. So dark hair, usually I err on the side of dark hair. Even if someone has light colored hair, it still ends up catching a lot of shadows. I usually like to make the clothes a dark value. And then I'll make the skin slightly lighter. Okay, so this is getting pretty close. Squint at your drawing, hold it back from your head, or if you're doing it digitally, zoom out, kind of make sure it's reading well. It's like, yeah, that's looking pretty good. Got good light, dark contrast there. These should be a little lighter, darker. So what's nice about digital is I can go back and adjust stuff like this. And this actually helps get some contrast next to the hair and the clothes. So now I have dark hair, light skin, dark top, light skin, dark bottoms, light skin. So dark light is a good kind of value pattern to have on there. I'll make this mountain back here just a little bit darker. That might be too dark. There we go. Something like that. Probably make these trees a little bit darker. Alright, so something about like that should be pretty good. And again, this doesn't have to be, see how it's kind of, it's a little bit messy, like I'm not staining the lines perfectly. Things like that are completely fine. You know, at this stage, this isn't your finished art. This is going to be a plan to help you when you start to do this in color, which will be for the next project. But it's very important just to practice these different values. Make sure you can clearly make a good composition with depth, light values being or dark values closer, light values farther away, and value contrast on the focal point. So this would count as one workup sketch. I kind of went really fast here. I could be a little carefuler, but it's okay if it's a little messy. And then what you'll do is you'll choose 2 more. So whichever other 2 you like from your thumbnails, feel free to email me your thumbnails if you have any questions and don't know which ones to choose. I am happy to help choose those. And we will go from there. And I'll make another video showing you how to save this all as a PDF file before you turn it in.